Hello, everybody. Welcome to lesson 3 of the online Irish tunes class. I'm Bev Whelan, and I'm going to teach you a tune today called The Pipe on the Hob. It's a jig that I learned here in Lancaster, where we have a thriving Irish music scene. There's a stalwart of the local Irish music sessions who's been here forever, Dr. David Lythe, who's written books about Irish fiddle styles and bowing styles in Irish music. And this is a tune that I'm fairly sure I learnt here in Lancaster from Dave, although it was a very long time ago, so I'm not can't really remember. But when I actually listened to the tune and listened to different versions of the tune, I'm pretty sure this is one that Dave himself got from the playing of a wonderful fiddler from Clare, Paddy Canny. And many years ago, Dave travelled around Ireland and actually made some field recordings of some of the greats of Irish music, including Paddy Canny. He sat in his kitchen in County Clare and recorded him and brought that music back. And lots of us in Lancaster still play the tunes that Dave recorded back then from those amazing players. So I've listened today to a recording of Paddy Canny playing this tune, and I'm going to post that alongside this video because I think you ought to hear it. It's wonderful. And the setting that Paddy Canny plays is pretty much identical to what I'm going to teach you today. So this tune, The Pipe on the Hob, is there are two jigs called The Pipe on the Hob, and they're both entirely different from each other. So this is not the kind of more common of the two. I would say this is a slightly lesser known tune called The Pipe on the Hob. So I hope you're going to enjoy it. I hope you've enjoyed the other lessons so far too. And if you just look down below the video, you'll see the music for this tune. So you can download that. It's a PDF of the written music plus some ABC. So you can follow that along as we go. I hope you'll enjoy the lesson. Here we go. So first, I'm going to play the whole tune for you so you can hear what we're going to learn. Here we go. Okay, so that's the tune that we're going to do today. The thing to say before we start is there's a bit of a strange key signature going on within this tune. So for the most part, C's in this tune are played natural. But along the way, there are a few accidental C sharps as well. And in fact, there's one in the very first bar. So we're going to alternate a little bit as we go through this tune between C natural and C sharp. So that's kind of the first thing to say. So the other thing to say is that in the second part, this is one of the tunes where you play the B part the first time through, and then when you play it the second time through, there are some differences. So it's like there's the kind of sequence of the tune is A, they're both the same, B1, B2. So that's basically what we're going to do. A, B1, B2. And B2 in this instance covers the space of 4 bars. So the last 4 bars of the B part are substantially different the second time around. So anyway, all will be revealed as we go along. So I'm going to start by playing the A part just on its own, just for you to listen to, and then we'll start to go through it section by section. So here we go. Okay, so that's part one of the tune. You play the part one twice. As I said, it's AA, B1, B2, so that we're on the AA part now. And at the end of the first time that we play the tune, there are a couple of little lead-in notes that lead you into the repeat. And then at the end of the second time, there's a different little lead-in note, a little bridge note that takes you into the second part. So we'll cover that when we come to it. So anyway, here we go. We're going to learn the notes now of the first part of the tune. So as I said, the first part of the tune, the first bar of the tune, there is already, the second note is our first accidental C sharp. So these are the notes. D, C sharp, D, A, and I'm doing a cut on the A. Then there's a breath if you're a wind player, or at least a gap, and then a G. So it's let's do that together. 1 and 2 and. And one more time. 1 and 2 and. So now we're on bar 2. So it's F sharp, and then a breath if you're a wind player, or a gap, and then D, D, E, D. And we could do, in fact, we might do a cut on the F. We might do a cut on the second of the two Ds as well. So from the beginning of the tune, the first bar and the second bar, this is what we've got now. Let's try that together. 1 and 2 and. I'm probably doing different ornaments every time, but that is Irish music for you. Let's try it again. 1 and 2 and. Okay, so now we're on bar 3. So the notes are E, D, E, and now we're on to C natural. C, B, C. So E, D, E, so E, D, E, C, B, C. Now, the E, D, E section, what you can do there, if on your instrument it's possible to do so, and it certainly is on the whistle and on the flute, we're going to do an E roll there. And then on the CBC, I can't do a roll on the whistle, but on some instruments, for example, a concertina, you could do a C roll. So I'm going to do an E roll and then CBC. I'll just show you how to do that E roll if you're a whistle player. So it's E, the first note of the roll is long, a long E. Then you lift your G finger up and keep the other ones down. Then put that one down so you're back on E. Then you do a D and then back to E. So there's a sequence of 5 notes. A long E, lift the G finger, E, D, E. All slurred on one breath. So let's try bars 1, 2, 3 now together. Here we go. 1 and 2 and. Let's do that one more time. 1 and 2 and. So now we're on to bar 4. So bar 4 starts on an E. So it's an E with a cut on it, if you can do a cut. And then D, D. So I'm separating the 2 Ds by doing a cut on the second D. So let's recap that. So it's E, D, D, F, A. And there's room for a breath in there after the first note, the E. So let's add that on to the other bar. So we're going to do bar 1, 2, 3 and 4 now. Here we go. 1 and 2 and. Oh. Okay, so now we're on bar 4 of the first part. And we're going to play E, and then we can do a cut on the E, and then there's a breath, and then there's 2 Ds. And often when you play 2 of the same note side by side in Irish music, certainly on the whistle, on the second of the 2, you would often separate them by doing a cut, which is the single note ornament on the second one. So this is 2 Ds with a cut on the second one. D, D cut. So in this tune, we've got E, a little pause for breath, if you need breath. E, pause, D, D cut, F, A. This is bar 4. E, D, D, F, A. Okay, so now let's play bars 1, 2, 3 and 4 together. I'll count us in. 1 and 2 and. Let's do that one more time. 1 and 2 and. So now we're on bar 5. These are the notes. D breath, B, C, B, A. And let's move straight on to the next bar, because there's a kind of a momentum if you play these two together. The next bar is B, A, G, A. And I'm doing some cuts in there. So if we put that bar with the one immediately before it that we've just learned. There's a kind of a continuous pattern. So it's sometimes when you get kind of a long passage of notes like this, it's easier to just do them all. Let's try that with the rest of the tune. 1 and 2 and. Let's do that one more time. 1 and 2 and. Okay, so the G at the end of bar number 6 that we haven't played yet is kind of a lead into the next passage of notes. So we're going to do it as part of the next bar, bar 7. These are notes that we've played before. So we're starting with a G introduction, then we've got the E roll, and then C, B, C. Or if you can do a roll on a C on your instrument, it might be an E roll and then a C roll. So it's and then to finish the tune, so we've gone, then we're going to go E, a little pause, then D, D. So from the end of the G at the end of bar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the G at the end of bar 6, and then the 2 bars afterwards, this is what we've got. And I know on the music there are a couple of other notes after that, but they're what you do to kind of take you back into the first part again to do the repeat. So we're just going to put them on one side for now. And we're just going to play part 1 once together. So we're going back to the beginning. 1 and 2 and. Okay, so this is where those little notes at the end, after the 2 Ds, we've got in the bit where the bracket says 1. This is what we play the first time we play the first part of the tune. And these are the notes that take you into the repeat. So we've gone E, D, D. And then the two little bridge notes are F, A. And then we're back into the beginning, D, C sharp, D. So this is, I'm going to play bar 8. I'm going to do the two little kind of bridge notes that are at the end of that bar, the F sharp and the A. And then I'm going to start the tune again, just so you can hear how it turns around. So here we go. Hopefully that was clear. So now what we're going to do is we're going to play the first part of the tune twice. Okay, here we go. 1 and 2 and. Okay, so now we've learnt the whole first part of the tune, and we're going to start with the second part. Now, as I said earlier, the second part, there's kind of two versions of it. There's the part that you play the first time, which we're going to call B1, and then there's a you play it again, you begin the tune again, and it starts the same, but the last 4 bars the second time round are substantially different. So we're going to call that one B2. So right now we're going to focus just on B1. Here we go. Okay, to start us off, I'm just going to play the whole of B1 so you can hear what notes you're going to learn. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to start learning B1 with the intro note. So the intro note is, if you look at the music, the written music, there is at the end of the A part, there is this is, you know, the bit with the bracket that says number 2. So this is the A part, the end of the A part the second time round. We've ended on 2 Ds, and then there is a high E, and that is the intro note into the second part, the B1 that we're about to learn. So we're going to do a high E, and then we're going to do F, D, D, and then this is another place where there's a C sharp instead of a C natural. So it's so E, F, D, D, C sharp, D. Okay, let's try that together. So we're going from the high E, the little intro note that happens on the offbeat. So 1 and 2. Let's do that again. 1 and 2. So the second bar of the first B part is just a repeat of the notes that we've just done without the intro note. So it's just the same notes. So basically this is what we've got in the first 2 bars of B1. let's do that together. So 1 and 2. And again, 1 and 2. Okay, so now we're ready for bar 3. So bar 3 goes. So we're back to C natural in bar 3. And then we're going to do, after the C natural, we're going to do a little pause, and you can do a breath there if you need to take a breath in your music. So D, so we've got E, D, B, C, breath, and then a D. And the D kind of leads you into the next few notes. So let's add that on to what we've done already. So we're going from the high E at the end of the first part. Here we go. 1 and 2. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to play the first 3 bars of the first B part, and we're going to start on the high E at the end of the A part. So 1 and 2. Let's do that one more time. 1 and 2. Okay, so now we're on to bar 4. In bar 4, we're going to, the notes are E, it's all in the high octave, E, D, E. And on that bit, E, D, E, we're going to, if you feel like doing it, I'm certainly going to do it, an E roll. So you can either go as written, or you can go. Okay, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to do an E roll, and then it's A, G, E. Okay, so let's add that bar on to the rest of it. So we're going from the high E at the end of the first part again. Here we go. 1 and 2. Let's do that one more time. 1 and 2. Okay, so now we're on the second half of what I would call B1, the first time we play the B part. So this is how the final 4 bars of this part go just this first time. So we're going to start with a high F, and it's kind of a repeat of some of the notes we've done already. So okay, so those are exactly the same. Those 2 bars are exactly the same as the first 2 bars that we've already played in the B part. I'm going to just play the B part up to there just to show you how those 2 bars kind of fit onto the rest of it. So I'm going from that high E again at the end of the first part. So maybe we can try that together. So we've got 6 bars to do now of the first time we play the B part, starting with the high E at the end of the A part again. 1 and 2. Maybe let's just try that one more time. 1 and 2. Okay, so we're coming now to the last 2 bars of this first B part. So we're going to, the next bar starts with an E, D, E in the high octave, but again, I'm going to play an E roll there. So it's E, D, E, A, G, E, or E roll, A, D, A, sorry, A, G, E, or, and then the last bar, so we're back to C sharp again in this last bar, E, D, C sharp, D. So those last 2 bars that we've just learnt, E roll, A, G, E, E, D, C sharp, D. This is what that sounds like. So that means we've got the whole of the first B part now. So let's play that together. Okay, so we're going again from the high E. 1 and 2. Let's do that one more time. 1 and 2. Oh, let's do that properly. We'll do it right this time. 1 and 2. Okay, so that's the B part, the way it's played the first time. We're going to go into the repeat of the B part now. And the first 4 bars of the B part are exactly the same as you played just a minute ago. It's the last 4 bars that are different. So first of all, let's recap the first 4 bars of the B part, the bit we already know. Here we go. Okay, so these are the first 4 bars of the B part, same as in B1. This is now the start of B2. Okay, so now on the written music, we're at the part on the second line from the bottom where the bracket that says 2 begins. And within that bracket that says 2, that is the notes that we're going to be doing now. So we're starting with, if you'll see that the first notes are F sharp, E, F sharp, G, F sharp, G. Now, I'm not going to play those exact notes because I'm going to do ornaments there. I'm going to do an F sharp roll and a G roll. So that's going to replace the F sharp roll will replace F sharp, E, F sharp. The G roll will replace G, F sharp, G. So it's okay, so that's the first bar of this new part. Then the next bit goes A, F sharp, A, G. If you want, it can be an A roll. So let's just go back to the beginning of the number 2 bracket. F sharp roll, G roll, then A, F sharp, A, G. So we're going to just do those 2 bars. This is what it sounds like. Okay, so after that G that we've just ended on, there's a little breath if you need a breath, and then there's an E, and the E leads you into the next bar. So I'm going to start with the E, and I'm going to show you what happens next. E, F sharp, E, D, E, A, G. So let's add that on just to the 2 bars that we've just learned. So let's play that together. So we're going from the high E, 1 and 2. And then we just have to round the tune off. We're going back to C sharp in this last bar. E, D, C sharp, D. So we're going to go back to the high E at the end of bar 4 of the B part, and then we're going to play all the bit under the number 2 bracket. Okay, so it's E, F roll, G roll, A, F, A, G, etc. I'll just play it first and then I'll count in so that you can do it as well. Let's do that together. 1 and 2. Did you spot the deliberate mistake? We won't talk about that. Let's do it again together. 1 and 2. Oh, I've got a squeaky whistle. Right. Okay, so that's the last 4 bars of B2. So we're now going to play the whole of B2. So basically we're going to do the first 4 bars that we know already from B1, and then we're going to do these new bars. So I'll count us in. Here we go. 1, 1 and 2. Oh, I'll do that again. 1 and 2. Let's do that one more time. 1 and 2. Okay, so there were 1 or 2 deliberate mistakes in that last little section. So now you're getting a proper flavour of what it's like to come to one of my classes. It's not always as perfect as it might seem from videos. Anyway, right, so we've now learnt the whole tune. But because we've got 2 B parts, we just need to recap them before we play through the whole thing. So what we're going to do now is just play B1 and B2 together, just to give you a bit of practice doing that. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm going to play both B parts one after the other on my own first, and then I'll count in and we can do it together. So here we go. Okay, let's do that together. So we're going from the high E at the end of the first part of the tune, and we're going to play B1 and B2. Here we go. 1 and 2. Okay, so now we've learnt the whole tune of the Pipe on the Hob. So what we're going to do is play the whole thing through. I'm going to play it through 3 times so that you can just join in and play along, just to give you the experience of playing it. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. 1 and 2 and Okay, well done. If you've made it this far, you've learnt, hopefully, the pipe on the hob, and I hope you've enjoyed the tune. It's one of my favourites. It's a really great tune that I very much associate, as I said, with my time living here in Lancaster and playing in our fantastic Irish music sessions here. So anyway, if you've enjoyed the lesson and you have made it this far, if you want to donate to keep this project going, there is a PayPal link on this page. Alternatively, if you're not comfortable with PayPal or you don't have a PayPal account and you would still like to donate to keep these videos coming, then do please contact me by email, and my email address is on the page as well. And then I can send you my bank details instead to do an automated bank transfer. I hope everyone's keeping well and happy. Keep playing the music. There'll be another tune here for you next week. Okay? Take care. Bye.